everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. Make sure you stay tuned for the last patient, okay? This obviously I'm on my own again today. Mr. Taylor Green is still poorly, bless him. So this is actually one of Taylor's patients. The last one's one of Taylor's. He did give me a heads up on what's coming through on the last one. Don't miss it. It's a really, really lovely one to do. Really interesting case as well. So what we've got here is a very deep plug. Wax shouldn't be this deep into the ear canal. It shouldn't be in that osseous portion of the ear canal. Why? Because we don't form wax in that particular portion of the ear canal. What we form is just skin, and you might get a very, very thin layer. It'll be almost cream in color as it migrates down the canal. So if it wax is that deep, then it's going to be pushed down in there. Someone's been using some form of cleaning their ears with something that's pushed it down further into the ear canal. But eardrum looking lovely and healthy there. We did introduce a little bit of olive oil, I should say Taylor introduced a little bit of olive oil, just to coat the canal wall to ease the kind of passage of the wax down. Oh, 1/2 centimetre, 1/4 inch on that one, guys. Yeah, Taylor Green still poorly, bless him, so we wish him all the very best. We're hoping he's feeling better now. Fingers crossed you'll see him again on the videos soon, guys. But for me, for the moment, you're stuck with me, unfortunately. So what you can see here, this is one of my patients. We've got this really shiny wax. It's very soft and sticky. It's just starting to come down the canal here. Let's give it a bit more of a wiggle. Work it down that canal. There we go, it's on its way. It's coming away really nicely, in fairness. Oh, it's just holding on. So this is the standard size ulnar tube on here. Look how that is coming away there. I thought we were maybe looking at a little bit of a keratin. Oh, there was. I thought there was going to be a little bit of a keratin strip there as well. Now, we can see this keratin on the outer portion of the ear canal, so it's stretching out here. It's not unusual to find it there. That's pretty much where it should be. Because the skin is migrating out from the deeper portion of the ear canal to the outermost portion. When it gets to the outermost portion, the skin cells by that point have died off, start to fill with keratin. So you will get these kind of strips of dead, hardened up skin. And that's what we're seeing here. So we're just taking that away. Eardrum looks lovely and healthy. Ooh, now that's a very different looking wax. It's almost got a kind of a matte look to it. It's almost polished, the front of that wax there, which means this is probably going to be tough as all boots. So let's see, as we get a grip on the suction tube, the only way you're going to know is by popping the suction tube on and the whole thing lifted in one go. So yep, this is a solid piece of wax. Let's see as we lift this, what's going on. Oh, no, if you're really keen-eyed, at the bottom, just underneath the wax, as we're lifting this, you'll see this sort of grey, stretchy material around the outside edge. Now, that is a layer of epithelial, well, it's epithelial layer, so dead skin layer, basically, that's wrapping around this plug, which is going to hinder us here. So not only have we got a hard plug, but we've got this skin layer wrapped around it, which is still adhering to the canal wall. So it's not going to want to come down this ear canal very easily. So we're just holding to this front section. I think the only way we're going to do this is by breaking this down into pieces. Although we are getting a bit of a lift there at the bottom, you can really see that epithelial there. See that grey layer that's underneath there, or grey beige, we normally call it greyish, as it's coming away. There we go. That is keratin there that's getting sucked in. Now we're left with a very angular piece of dry hard wax here. Not the easiest thing to suction out because you can't get that nice surface to bind to with the suction tube. What you've got is all pits jutting out, which is going to mean that the airflow is going to pass around those pieces as it's going into the suction tube. So really trying to get a grip. I'm giving it a bit of a wiggle, but you can see it's just not really budging. We're getting a little bit of movement, but we're certainly not moving the whole plug here. We're just moving this very front section. And having said that, I think we're just moving the top of the very front section. So this is still really, really jammed in there. As we pull this forwards though, what we normally see is when it's compressed into that space, when it's really kind of tightly packed into that space with the skin wrapping around it and pushing down on it, it all kind of is really compacted. And then as you start to bring it out, then there's more room. So you start to find the edges will open up like a flower. It kind of opens up and sort of opens like this. And that's what's happening here. We're trying to draw this down and open this plug up a little bit. With our top section, we're seeing a little bit of movement to the bottom section. Not much though. That's really still anchored in. Now, it could be one of two things. We could have a really tough bit of keratin underneath and it's really holding on to that piece. We could be really unlucky and it could be dried down into the anterior recess there, and that's not going to pull out very easily. But what we have got is some movement to the top section. So what I'm trying to do here is fold this plug forwards. I think if we can fold it forwards, we're going to get two things. We're going to start to lift. If it is stuck in the anterior recess, we're going to start to lift that back section up, which is going to pull it out of the recess. And the other thing it's going to do is it's going to give us a much softer, smoother surface to work on as well. Much better to get a good suction grip on as well, that top section. So if we fold it forwards and we can get onto that surface layer, it's going to make things a lot easier. You can see the keratin now underneath. That's exactly what's been holding this in. Top section's breaking away very slowly though. Not much broke off that. We're going to try and work on that top section again now. We're going to bring that back down. We did get some movement there. As I said, guys, don't forget, stay tuned for the last one. If it's, Taylor did try and explain it to me before he left, bless him, when he was poorly. And I think it's a really good one. It's one of my favorite ones to do. So it'll be a good one for me to watch as well, because I haven't seen it yet. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we're going to get some really good skin peels on the last one. I won't say anything else. But this is really working down very, very nicely. There we go. We're on. You can see that that epithelial layer that's been wrapping around this plug, holding it in place. That grey material around the outside edge there. A bit more of a wiggle. Bit more of a wiggle. It's working now. You can see the top section. When we look at that bottom section, that is not going anywhere. That is welded in place down there. But if we can get this top section, we're going to create a gap at the top of the wax plug. We can lift and we can peel it off. Well, we did get some of that bottom section, I think, but not much there. No, that's pretty much stayed exactly where it was. So we can see that keratin layer. Look now, look how that grey section is lifting up in front of the suction tube. Let's see if we can lift this bottom section. My goodness me, that is holding on tight. It's almost drawing this dead skin down, almost concertinaing it up, puckering it up in front of this plug as it moves down the canal. Nearly there. Bit more of a wiggle, bit more of a wiggle. It's getting there. That keratin layer is really fighting us on the way down. But I think it's starting to detach. I'm seeing it moving with the plug. So I think it's actually attached to the plug. There we go. You can see it puckering up now in front of the plug as we start to move this down. Oh, look at it underneath that thick, thick layer of epithelial skin. There we are. Out that comes. Whew, I don't think there'll be much more in there. Let's take a look. Yeah, looking lovely and healthy. Luckily, it hasn't gone down as far as the eardrum. So we removed 2 centimeters, 3/4 of an inch worth of wax. Now, this next one's the one I'm looking forward to. Oh, before we go on to the next one, guys, if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for me. Oh, so this, sorry guys, my video glitched. So this is the video I've been looking forward to. Oh, it looks pretty clear actually. We can just see this little bit of wispy skin here at the base of the canal. Now, sometimes when you get a grip on these, they look really innocent, but when you get a grip on them, you can see this whole section coming away. Is that what we're looking at? Oh, yep, there you go. You get this, I like to refer to this almost like a spiderweb skin. So you can imagine like it's kind of adhering. It's like you get this little bit and it's all kind of spiderwebbed off that bit. But this is a very, very thin epithelial layer that's just working its way down the canal. It's died off, but it hasn't stayed sort of attached. So you can see how easily this is coming away. Let's get a grip on this other section here. These are one of my favorite ones to do. I love doing these. These and skin ribbons are probably my 2 favorites. One eardrum peels, thinking about it. There's quite a few I like. But you can see this coming away. Lovely looking eardrum there. Ooh, look at that. I should imagine something from a Spider-Man film where it's just kind of spread out like that, where you get this kind of whistled here into something. And that's what's happening here. Now, if this works the way I think it's going to, as soon as you get a grip on this, the whole thing's going to collapse down into this suction tube. Let's have a look how this goes. Oh, look at that coming away. You can see it peeling already down the canal wall. And you can see as we get a grip here, how it moves the skin further towards, closer to the camera. So this is a long, long strip in here. Now, are you going to be able to hold on to it and draw the whole thing down and pull those sides down? Or is it going to break away? Because this type of epithelial layer we've got here is so thin and wispy, it breaks at the drop of a hat. But we can just see this starting to peel. There we go. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I'm jealous because I love doing these. This is actually one of Taylor's patients. Look how that is peeling down the canal. All the way down. Look at this coming. It's from front to back. This is a classic. Oh, we've got a little bit of an epithelial cyst in there as well. If you look to the top right corner, can you see that little pearl? That's actually a little cyst in there, just to that top right hand corner of the eardrum there as well. So we're just pulling this down. Look how this is coming away. It's difficult to get a grip on now because you've got these little holes. It's almost like trying to get a grip on a net. There's too much air passing through it. So if we can get a hold onto this top section, let's see if we can pull this there. Oh my goodness, look how that is peeling away. This is basically the entire ear canal wall surface skin is just died off. And not hardened up as such, but become really flimsy and brittle. But the whole lot's coming away. Look how this is cutting through. That is awesome. As far as that cyst is concerned, it's not really causing any problems. It's something we certainly keep an eye on, but unless it's really causing problems, ooh, I think there might be one on the opposing canal wall. I just got a very quick glimpse, not as advanced as the one to the sort of right-hand side that you can see there, but I think we've got one on the anterior and the posterior wall, but I think one is a little bit more developed than the other. We'll have a good look now, but look how this skin is coming away. So we're just peeling this down the canal. You can see how it's lifting. Watch here. This is perfect technique. Just hovering above. Look how all that skin got sucked in. Just hovering above the ear canal wall and drawing that suction tube out, lifting all that dead skin into that canal, into the suction tube there. Now this is the bit I'm interested in. If we can get this piece out, I want to see if there's another cyst on the opposing canal wall. Now, viewers to the channel will know things like swimmer's ear and stuff like that. We're not looking at swimmer's ear here. You do get these little sort of bumps around the tympanic membrane there, but in swimmer's ear, what you get is exostoses, basically bony growths, and you get two at the bottom and one at the top. Now we can see one on this side, but it doesn't look like an exostose to me. But just above the tip of the hammer bone, I'm sure there's another one developing there. Let's get this last little bit of skin out of the way. I've slowed all this right down so you can really see this as well, can't you? Look at that. There we go. So we're just going to, yeah, we are. We're looking at another cyst on the opposing canal wall. So we've got a sort of slightly more underdeveloped one on the anterior and a more developed one on the posterior. Just above the tip of the hammer bone, you'll just have seen that little bit there. Well, that was an interesting one, guys. I really enjoyed that one. And there was more to it because I thought we were just covering the skin, but when we started seeing the cysts as well, that was a really interesting one. Like I said, we'll watch those cysts, make sure they don't get too big, make sure they don't cause any problems as far as patients' hearing is concerned. No need to refer to ENT at this point, but we'll just keep an eye on it and see how we go. But thank you very much for watching our video today, guys. And fingers crossed, Mr. Taylor Green will be back real soon. I hope he's feeling better as well. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.